I am so tired of boys not being able to hold or have a fucking conversation.
The crazy thing about the whole male loneliness epidemic is that men know what they need to do to get women. It's not that hard to figure out. They just hate that it would mean conceding to a matriarch.
Is it too aggressive if a girl just comes up to you, starts talking to you, asks for your number just right off the jump? Is that too aggressive?
Have you noticed how nowadays blaming men for everything has basically become a trend? Funny, because when you watch videos like these, you see a truth nobody wants to admit. It's not that men have disappeared, it's that women created an environment no sane man wants to walk into. On one side, women demand emotional perfection. On the other, they assume every man is controlling. And in the middle of all that, they ask, where are all the men?
I am so tired of boys not being able to hold or have a fucking conversation. I was literally talking to this guy the other day and he was like, oh, like, come over to my place, we'll watch football and like, we'll have a good time. And I was like, well, what is a good time? He was like, well, like my stamina's been really great recently because I've been working out. And so I answered and I was like, no, maybe in the future, like try a different approach. And he was like what? And I was like, here's an example. And I wrote out a fucking example of like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. It would be great to catch up. Like, if you're free tonight, I would love to see you. Easy, very easy. This bitch copy and pasted what I said and sent it back to me.
She complains that men don't know how to hold a conversation, yet treats the interaction like a job interview instead of a real connection. The guy was direct, maybe too direct, but she responds with arrogance, trying to teach a grown man how to send the proper message, like a teacher correcting a child. Then she's shocked when he copy-pastes the exact message style she demanded. In the end, she doesn't want a man who can communicate. She wants a man who fits her script. For many men, that simply isn't worth the effort.
The crazy thing about the whole male loneliness epidemic is that men know what they need to do to get women. It's not that hard to figure out. They just hate that it would mean conceding to a matriarchy. They want women, but they also want women in a dynamic where they have the power. It's not just about wanting women. Like, they want to have women, but they want to also be in control of that woman. So it's less about them being lonely. It's more about them feeling like they're needing to concede the power that they felt like they were promised their entire lives. We're telling them to put in effort, whether that's effort in like their emotional maturity or the way they look, the way they present themselves, whatever. And they don't like that because they feel entitled to women. They feel like they shouldn't have to put in effort, at least, especially not as much effort as women have to put into themselves in order to get women. If you look at the women, or if you look at the men that women like lust after, it's usually men, like in terms of public figures. I just saw a video of Pedro Pascal. It's men that stick up for things that are right. Pedro Pascal is obviously a beautiful man, but it's men that are comfortable with their masculinity. It's men that don't feel threatened by femininity. It's men that stand up for what's right and stands up for people who are marginalized or people who don't have as loud of a voice. But these men insist on clinging on to these patriarchal structures. And it's because they want women in the context of having power over a woman. They don't want a woman just in general. They don't want a woman as an equal partner. They want a woman that they can control and feel better and stronger than. Because in their mind, that's what it means to be masculine. That's what being a man means. And that's what we've all been indoctrinated into and what we've all been taught. But as much as we're trying to teach them that we need to break down this conditioning, they do not want to break it down because it's not convenient for them to do so. Because it sacrifices a lot of their identity. It's not that they don't understand, it's just the truth is very inconvenient for them. Okay, the truth would be like conceding to what women want out of men would be conceding to accepting us as equals. And that's not something that they're willing to do.
She tries to explain male loneliness using words like patriarchy, matriarchy, and power, while completely ignoring the fact that many men no longer see emotional, financial, or social benefits in modern relationships. She demands effort, maturity, looks, vulnerability, and social stances from men, but never mentions what women offer in return. To a traditional man, it feels like an unfair exchange. He must shape himself, evolve, self-monitor, while she only expects It's easy to judge men when you don't understand the social and emotional pressure they face today.
The solution to this so-called male loneliness epidemic is clearly that men need to like women more. And let me explain. Men are separated into two camps, okay? You have men that like women and men that don't like women. Men that don't like women are the majority and they are in community with each other. Men that like women are the minority and they're in community with each other and with women. Both groups of men struggle with male loneliness in different ways, but it is both because of the fact that men don't like women. Let's start with the men that don't like women. When I say men that don't like women, I'm not necessarily talking about like violent, abusive men. I'm talking about men that don't care for women, right? These men might love women romantically. They might love their girlfriend. They might love their mum. They might be sexually attracted to women. However, they're not interested in women. Like if their best guy friend brings his girlfriend, they're not going to ask her lots of questions about what she does because they literally don't care about women. They might not even realize that they don't like women, but they don't like women. These men are lonely because they're not fulfilled by their community, a community of men that doesn't like women, a community of men that has not unlearned their internalized patriarchy that makes them abhor vulnerability, connection, all that which they associate with women. So these men are not emotionally fulfilled by the other men they're in community with, and they're only emotionally fulfilled when they have a partner. The men in this group that do okay are the ones with girlfriends or the ones that have more access to intimacy and romance with women, the ones that are better looking, the ones that maybe have more dating experience, the ones that are more confident, the ones that are more socially intelligent and are better at pretending to be in this group just so that they can get women. These are the men in this group that do okay when it comes to loneliness. And obviously the other side of that spectrum would be incels, men that don't like women and can't get women, and they would be the loneliest of the men in the camp of men that don't like women. And then you have the men that like women. Obviously all of my friends that are men are in this camp. These men tend to have a lot of female friends. However, I've spoken to all of my guy friends at length about this male loneliness epidemic, and what they say is that even though they have really close female friends, and a lot of them will have like one or two like best guy friends that are also in this camp that they can really be vulnerable with, the world is dominated by these men. So when they're, at school, in the workplace, and they find themselves in a sea of these men that clock a man and assume, that they're going to be in this camp because most men are in this camp. And then as soon as they realize that the man is in this camp, they're like immediately like energetically ostracized, right? Like they're never going to fit in with these men unless they're really good at faking it. That's why they feel the loneliness. So these men feel lonely because of these men who don't like women. And these men feel lonely because they don't like women. And this whole male loneliness epidemic would be solved if they just all liked women. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
She divides men into those who like women and those who don't, as if it were deep analysis, but it's just another way of blaming men. She completely ignores that many men are stepping back not because they don't like women, but because they're exhausted from living in an environment where any masculine expression is criticized or reinterpreted as ego, insecurity, or oppression. To traditional men, the idea that the solution is for men to like women more feels empty. Liking someone doesn't fix anything when reciprocity is gone. Respect, admiration, and partnership matter, not labels.
So I'm single and I'm just trying to be like aware of men in the world, okay? And do single men like go anywhere without a chaperone? I'm actually starting to panic. Like, where are they? Like, where are they? I feel like anytime I see a man vaguely my age, like a woman appears, a child appears, that is a father. Where are the single men? Where are they? Do they not go to the grocery store? I've never seen a man at Target. How do you eat? You can't exclusively go to sports games with the bros. Where are you? I know I'm at a deficit because I go to Broadway shows and tap dancing lessons and I work from home. But I exist in public. I go out for drinks. I go to coffee shops. I go to the mall. I go to the store. Where are they? Where are they going? Where are they? Do they go anywhere? Do men only go places if their girlfriend made them? If they have a child to feed? Help.
She wonders where all the single men are. as if they vanished, but ignores that many simply don't want to be visible. Today, any male approach is misread as threatening or creepy. Many men would rather work, train, stay home, and mind their own lives than risk being judged just for existing in public. She complains she doesn't see men, but doesn't realize that many are avoiding public interaction to escape disrespectful rejection or subtle accusations. It's a direct reflection of today's social climate. Men pull away, and women find that strange.
Question for the men, or single men, maybe men in general. Is it too aggressive if a girl just comes up to you, starts talking to you, asks for your number just right off the jump? Is that too aggressive? Would you rather her come over and be like, just wanted to let you know I'm going to appreciate a good looking man when I see him because, you know, I've seen many fish in this sea and there ain't many good looking ones, so just thought I'd let you know you're super cute, and then have her, you know, circle back before she leaves, maybe slide you her number and say, not sure if you're single, not sure if you're interested, but in the chance that you are single and you are interested, give me a call. Would love to grab a drink. Would love to grab dinner. Would love to get to know you. Text me. Ask me out. Is that too aggressive, or are guys appreciating that kind of stuff? I feel like that's the route I would go, but just super curious.
She's the most honest one. She asks if being direct scares men. The truth is, it doesn't. Traditional men appreciate clarity, politeness, and femininity. The problem is that many women think being direct means acting like a man. Aggressive, pushy, dominant. But what she describes is respectful, elegant, and even admirable. In this case, most men would welcome it. The real contrast is that she's willing to do what many women avoid: taking emotional responsibility, showing initiative, and being straightforward. To men, that's rare, and that's why it's valued.
As a single woman, I'm getting a little worried when I scroll on this app that like all of the good single men, 30-year-olds and up, or near that range, they are, if they're single, they're staying inside and doing exactly what I would want to do, which is like binge a show and like order and take out. Like, why when I'm scrolling, I'm seeing all these like cute men who look like they have their head on their shoulders. They probably don't. Let's just be fucking real. But they're all like staying inside. Like, what I'm trying to do is text a girlfriend and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of me cuddling into bed and binging all of Real Housewives, let's go out. Because I'm just hoping that one day, like, I meet my husband, like, meet cute randomly. Like, I gotta go out and do that, right? I have to, like, actually put myself out there. I have to actually do my makeup and, like, put on a cute outfit and do that, you know? Crazy concept. But I have a fear that all of the good single 30-year-old men are doing the opposite. Hey, get out there. Please. Stop ordering takeout by your fucking self and wait for me to be there with you to do it, okay? Fuck, literally, I don't... Probably gonna run into a douchebag. Pray for me.
She fears that all the good single men are staying home, quiet, out of sight. And in a way, she's right. Many men have stepped away from the social scene because they're tired. Tired of bad dates, unrealistic expectations, surface-level judgments, and lack of reciprocity. They prefer the comfort of their own space over being ridiculed, ignored, or treated as disposable. While she pushes herself to go out and meet someone, men have stopped believing it's worth the energy. It's the consequence of years of being told they're not needed. Now, they're taking that seriously.